I'm on a mountain road in Hunan province, China. Pretty remote out here. And a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, we had an ice storm. Took down a lot of trees in the region. And so a lot of the roads are still in pretty bad shape. I've been cruising around on the back roads out here where there's very little traffic. It's a lot safer to drive in China where there's less cars because people are terrible drivers out here. Very dangerous. And my cousin, or I should say my brother-in-law's cousin, loaned me his very nice motorcycle. Now for China, this would be an exceptionally large motorcycle. You know, I really don't know what the displacement on this thing is, but I'm going to guess and say somewhere around 250 to 450. It says it's a V4 and it's got 4 pipes, but it feels like a 200 or even a 250. It has very little power. It cruises probably top speed. When you're going 60 miles an hour or 100 kilometers an hour, it feels like that's about the limit on the bike. But it has an amazing array of features like disc brakes, cruise control, turn signals, bags, you know, you name it. It's a pretty comfortable ride, actually. It's a fairly small bike when you sit on it. You know, you can't really stretch out. My feet are like, my knees are you know, up in my chest when I'm sitting on it. But, you know, for around here, this is just an amazing machine. When I'm driving down the street, everybody's looking at this white guy on this very cool black cruiser. And it sounds pretty amazing for, you know, a little V4. Let's start it up and listen to it. Cool halogen and LED headlights. It's got self-adjusting rear suspension. Let's see, I've got it in neutral. No, I don't have it in neutral. It's got a heel and toe shifter. It feels a little on the cheap side, you know? How about that? The actual, you see the self-leveling just drop down there? It's very common in Chinese rural areas for the families to bury their family members or individuals on the side of the road. You can see up there on the left, there's a small grave site with a few graves in it. The weather today is about 70 degrees and it was just a little bit chilly in some low areas. You can see melting snow on the side of the road from last week's snowstorm. And other than the lack of guardrails, I am being very careful to mind the edges of the road here, by the way. I don't want to end up in a rice paddy or a vegetable garden. Other than the lack of guardrails, the road style and the architectural style is extremely similar to the roads that I rode in Pennsylvania where I grew up. And the quality of the road is exceptionally good. Now this is way out in the countryside and it's a very rural area. And I definitely prefer riding in areas like this in China because there's very few other cars, just maybe a moped or two. And other than the lack of guardrails, as you can see there, it's a very beautiful place to ride. The bike is an exceptional machine for this area in China. The tuning of the bike seems to be a little bit conservative. I think it's running quite lean. It tends to overheat and doesn't want to really idle when you're in traffic. And I can hear the cooling fan click on quite a lot. I tripped on the rock right there. But I really want to thank my cousin for loaning it to me during this trip. It was really an exceptional pleasure taking it around the country area and enjoying this part of the world.